The U.S. solar energy industry is reacting with disappointment at the Obama administration's new tariffs of up to 4.75% on solar equipment that is imported from China. Now, that amount is smaller than many U.S. manufacturers of solar panels were hoping for, and the tariffs may have little effect on the industry. And how will this affect investors in the solar sector? Let's ask our expert. We've got Gordon Johnson, solar analyst at Axiom Capital Management, and he's been bearish on the sector for as long as I can remember. Gordon, it's good to have you with us. What about these tariffs? 4.25%? Is this like not really an effective way to deal with the imports of Chinese panels?
Well, I think it is an effective way, Pimm, and the reason is because, as we have stated many times before regarding this issue, imposing significant tariffs on Chinese panels is not good for the industry, because what it would do, Pimm, is it would push up the cost of the low-cost product. Investors would have to pay more for solar panels, and the returns they get on solar projects would go down significantly. So it would reduce demand, not increase it. I think it would be a bad thing. So I think this is overall a good thing for investors, but I think it continues to exacerbate the excess supply, because now the Chinese can continue to ship their products in the U.S. for 2 to 4% penalties, duties on their product. They can easily swallow that. Their prices are that much below the U.S. and European manufacturers.
What are the price differentials for stuff that's imported from China versus that which is made here in the U.S.?
I mean, the Chinese guys have, you know, a 10 to sometimes 25% price advantage versus the European guys. That's how much lower their prices are than the prices of the European manufacturers. And as you know, Pimm, it's simple. You make a widget in China, it's going to be cheaper than a widget in the U.S. because labor costs and electricity costs in China are cheaper. A solar product, it's a commodity. It's effectively a widget for your viewers. That's why the Chinese can make it for less. So even though the U.S.
But they can also make it for less based on the tariff ruling. They can make it for less because the Chinese government is subsidizing them.
Now, that is true. Now, the Chinese government, but this is nothing new. This is nothing new for solar. The Chinese government has a policy right now of creating jobs. So for all of its industries that create jobs, they're giving significant low-interest loans. This is nothing new to China. It's just the U.S. and European guys are complaining. But the U.S., I think, did the right thing. I actually think there should have been no duties on Chinese panels, because that will entice further investment. But I think they did the right thing in imposing low duties. Now, just so you know, May 16th, there's another ruling associated with anti-dumping in which there will be potentially additional duties and tariffs placed on Chinese panels. But we're going to tell you today, we're going to give you an exclusive. We don't think that's going to be extensive at all either.
You don't think so?
No, because what I think investors don't understand, now we did some checks in India and also China yesterday, effectively in the U.S. with our government contacts. What the U.S. government is doing is they're going to compare those Chinese panels to panels sold in India. So the price, the only differential really is the price, because labor costs and electricity price are also low in India.
So you got that same thing, right? I mean, it's like a parallel.
Exactly. So I think some of our competitors, some of our peers on the street are expecting significant duties as a result of this anti-dumping ruling that's going to happen May 16th. We don't think it's going to happen.
All right, if you don't think it's going to happen May 16th, if we're not going to get these increased duties and tariffs,
you'll get something, but we think it's going to be modest compared to current expectations.
So what's it going to do to solar stocks, do you think? What's going to happen between, let's say, now and May 16th for solar stocks?
Well, I think the day it's announced on May 16th, as we saw yesterday, I think the stocks will rally, because what our peers, what the Wall Street is doing is they're putting this expectation out there that there's going to be a significant duty placed on the stocks. The stocks will rally, and on that rally, we strongly recommend shorting them.
Because you think that the price is going to fall, because this isn't really going to increase the value.
If the U.S. doesn't really impose a huge duty, then the Chinese continue to ship their product into the U.S., and you're going to have the continued excess oversupply. So if the duty isn't robust, it's actually a negative. But on the news, the stocks will rally. And because overall it's a negative, you want to short on the rally and or sell your stock and take profit.
All right. Thanks very much. An expert's view. Gordon Johnson, Axiom Capital. Love having your opinion and your thoughts on solar energy. Always a pleasure.